The NBA Finals continues with Game 3 between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers tonight. You can watch it at 7:30 right here on KVUE. It's going to be good.
Ooh, and it is 6:56. We are taking a look at some of our drive times. Still pretty quiet out there, but once again, we are going to have some of that weather moving through again in those rounds today. So just be real careful. It's going to get slick, and everyone tends to slow down heading out the door. And of course, with those gusty winds as well, we could have some debris on the roadways. But as you can see right now, we are looking pretty good. Casey, what do you have for us?
Yeah, I mean, we're still in that kind of wet, active weather pattern. A lot of it's dry right now as you head out the door, but don't let that fool you. Keep the umbrella handy today. We will see more rounds of rain and storms by this afternoon and into this evening. Thursday featuring still some scattered storms, especially east of I-35, but after that we'll be looking at a little bit of a drier pattern. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for Father's Day, just a couple chances for some spotty showers and storms. Temperatures then on the rise. We'll be back into the middle 90s by next week.
And with all this rain, you were saying to be very careful, conscientious of the pending potential flooding.
Yes.
So those low water crossings, all of that, you just have to be aware.
You do, yeah, especially where you see those areas that get the one really heavy downpour and get those rainfall rates sometimes upwards of 3 inches per hour. And that's where we really look out for the flooding potential, especially after we have already seen so much rain over the past couple of days.
We saw that during the microburst right here in North Shoal Creek. So be real careful out there. And of course, join us on KVUE Plus, 7 a.m. We'll see you there in a couple minutes.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KVUE Plus app everywhere you stream.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. Thanks for joining us on Daybreak Plus here on the KVUE Plus app, streaming free on your TV. I'm Rob Evans.
And I'm Hannah Rucker. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Of course, we've got another day of tracking storms for meteorologist Casey Sherman. It has just been constant, really, this last month, hasn't it?
It has, but you know what? We will take it. I mean, before we kind of head into the dead heat of the summer, that very dry weather pattern that is very typical of Central Texas for the summertime season, we'll take the rain, the clouds, the cooler conditions while we can get it. Currently, on look outside on our radar, notice many of us currently quiet. We had that swath of rain and thunderstorms that rolled through early this morning out across the hill country, parts of the I-35 corridor. What's left of it is now lurking its way out across the Waco area, heading towards the Dallas metro area as this low pressure system that brought all that rain along with it begins to track out of the region. This is riding along the same old stalled out front that's been hanging around for the past about couple days or so, 36 hours, and it's still going to sit over our area today, which is going to mean additional rounds of those showers and storms. Coffee cast today, grab the large coffee. Cloudy. Temperatures in lower 70s. I would say it's going to be just one of those mornings where it's kind of tough to get out of bed. We're waking up to this kind of gloomy start. No rain right now, but we will be tracking more storms later on in the day today. Once the atmosphere recharges a little bit more, that'll allow for more storms to pop up, especially after about 11 a.m. and noon. Spotty showers and storms, so just keep the umbrella handy today with those temperatures that'll be climbing in the low to middle 80s. We'll continue to watch for more rain chances, especially along and east of the I-35 corridor heading into tomorrow. Still monitoring that flood potential and a low end threat to see some severe storms. I'll be breaking that down coming up in a bit, but right now let's check in on that kind of cloudier morning commute with Hannah.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna get a drink of water around here, aren't we? It's 7:03. How we doing? We doing okay? It's Wednesday, so we're pushing right along, and it's looking pretty good on my end. We had a couple crashes earlier this morning when the roads were really slick, but now look at this, even kind of sleepy, dare I say, on I-35. Aside from some of that construction, of course, they're once again doing different portions of the I-35 Capital Express project. Right now, we still have a stalled vehicle. They're working to clear that out. Upper Deck Airport there, and that is northbound at DKR Stadium this morning. And let's take a look at Del Valley. We had two separate crashes. Good news, the one outside of Circuit of the Americas cleared up. All clear on the 130 toll road if you are coming and going today from this area. And then there is still an active incident on FM 973 that is just impacting the southbound lanes here heading towards Bastrop Highway. But really not too shabby out there. We can work with this. We've got patches of stop and go at Onion Creek, but it's better than a full shutdown like we've seen in recent weeks. So 30 miles per hour to be exact if you are coming in from beautiful Buda, Texas today.
Well, more than a dozen people now face charges after anti-ICE protests in downtown Austin. On Monday, Austin police arrested 8 people. Texas DPS arrested 5 others. Charges include resisting arrest, interfering with public duties, criminal mischief. Now, the protest started peacefully at the Capitol but turned tense near the J.J. Pickle Federal Building. Officers say people spray painted walls, threw rocks at police, spit on police. 4 officers were hurt, 3 of them by rocks. Police used pepper balls to break up the crowd. Austin police are gearing up for another potentially tense weekend. Larger protests planned for this Saturday across the state. And according to Governor Greg Abbott, the Texas National Guard will be deployed to ensure peace and order this weekend. Austin police gearing up to respond to any situations as well, but the Austin Police Association says it's going to put a strain on resources since they're going to have to add an increased police presence. After the protest back in 2020, the Austin Police Association said a large number of officers left APD because of confrontation with law enforcement. Now, the department is still about 300 officers short. Jerry Staton is a retired police officer and says it's protests like Monday's that really drain law enforcement.
But it's tiring. When it goes on day after day after day, it is extremely exhausting, and not just physically exhausting, but mentally exhausting. To know that you've got people out there who are protesting against some of the things that don't make sense to most of us.
APD Chief Lisa Davis said that they will be fully staffed during protests planned for Saturday. They'll also have police dialogue or dialogue policing, which is where the officers will be in the crowd before the protest starts, telling people, hey, here are the rules to go about protesting peacefully.
And in other news today, a Navy sailor who mysteriously disappeared in Virginia has been found dead. This young woman here, Angelina, known as Angie Resendez, went missing from a naval base 2 weeks ago. Her body was found in the woods on Monday, and the remains were confirmed to be her yesterday. Resendez, a Texas native, was a culinary specialist assigned to the USS James E. Williams. Her mother claims she was not notified of her daughter's disappearance to begin with through official military channels.
These kids come up missing and nobody really says anything, right? They're people that are in charge, like, they're not important.
Another Navy sailor has been placed in pretrial confinement in connection with Resendez's death. You may remember back in 2020, 20-year-old Vanessa Guillen was murdered by a fellow Army soldier at what was then known as Fort Hood. Guillen's family pushed and pushed for reforms in the Army, which led to changes in how military investigations are conducted and how these things are supposed to be communicated. And President Trump actually plans to restore the original names of military bases across America, including Fort Cavazos in Killeen. It was originally named after Confederate General John Bell Hood. It was renamed in 2023 to Fort Cavazos to honor Korean war hero and Texas native Richard Cavazos. The base will be renamed after Colonel Robert B. Hood, a World War I veteran who earned a Distinguished Service Cross for his bravery in France. Back here at home prices have come down in the Austin area over the past couple of years, but it's still unaffordable for a lot of people.
For most people, let's be honest,
For most
right?
people, yep,
Yeah.
true.
I sat down with Mayor Kirk Watson to see what he's been doing to help make the capital city more affordable and what he's doing to keep the people here who make Austin weird. It's a great problem to have when everybody wants to be in your town, Mayor, right? It's a great problem. But it comes with its own problems. So how are you dealing with the affordability issue?
Well, you know, it's an interesting way that you phrase that, because I say it frequently that some of Austin's biggest challenges are a result of our success. And one of the signs of success is people want to be here. And it has an impact on affordability. And what worries me about that is whether Austin will be what I refer to as a complete city. And by that I mean people that are living here now, people that grew up here, people that we want to come here, whether they're going to be able to stay here. And so one of the big things that we have really focused on is making sure that housing is more affordable. And we've had great success over the past 2 years and a couple of months putting together a housing proposals and a housing plan so that we can increase the amount of housing supply, which will make a difference in terms of affordability, and also a specific focus on affordable housing where it's deeply affordable.
There are so many different aspects to affordability.
Right.
I know it's not just houses, it's transportation as well. How do you balance this as a city?
Well, it's difficult, and I would say that we're doing a really good job of trying to create the balance. I'll give you a couple of examples. First is we're not just focusing on one side of the equation. In other words, we're not just focusing on the cost of the house. I can make that house more affordable by doing things that causes the price to not rise as fast or even go down. But the flip side of the coin on affordability is I can make something affordable by putting more money in your pocket.
Right.
And so one of the things that we have done contemporaneous with what we've been doing with regard to housing has been we created, for example, the Austin Infrastructure Academy. That Infrastructure Academy is a focus on family supporting sufficient money to support a family, careers in the economic development sector of mobility and infrastructure. And of course that answers part of your question as well. We've got about $25 billion worth of infrastructure projects in play right now. Things like improvements on I-35, things like Project Connect. Of course, the airports is part of that. All of these things that we need to grow and improve because of the number of people that are here. But you can see they intersect. Your question suggests they intersect, but we're intersecting them from a policy perspective, not just making it easier to get more housing on the ground, but making it easier to have career paths that put more money in your pocket, and in that instance, making sure we have the workforce available to build the infrastructure we need to support all of this.
when the housing prices shot up so much, I don't know the percentages off the top of my head, but nearly doubling for a purchase price before when I got here to the past couple of years. No matter how much you make, though, as a career, no one's going to make double what they're making. So how much of that is focused on the making more money, and how much can, as policymakers, can be focused on creating more houses?
A couple of things about that. One is that we looked at what we knew were barriers to actually getting housing on the ground. I'll give a couple of quick examples of that. One is the city of Austin got in its own way. It was very difficult to get a site plan approved in this town. When I came into office, it took for a first review of a site plan for a multifamily or a single family dwelling, it was taking close to 100 days to get approval on that. Well, I can tell you that now we're under 30 days. The goal was 28, but the changes and improvements we made, it put us under 28 days. Second review, in other words, if you get a review and you got to bring it back, the second review was over 50 days, and now that's around 14 days. So one of the things you do to make your policy work in practice is you get out of your own way. You make the system more efficient, because if we're slowing down the process, we're adding to the cost, because it's costing that person building that multifamily unit or that single family dwelling, it's costing them more money just in holding time. Another example is that our minimum lot size in this town was out of whack. It was something that was passed, our minimum lot size was passed in 1947.
A little different.
Yeah, a little different. And it was frankly passed so that it would be discriminatory. It was passed at a time when you saw some of this happening across the country, where they would increase the minimum lot size. In fact, in 1947, what happened in Austin was an increase of the minimum lot size from 3,000 square feet to over 7,500 square feet. We have now lowered that to 1,800 square feet. And one of the things that allows is, if you have a big old lot, you're getting big old houses. Right. Now, if you have a smaller lot, you can build a more moderate house, more modest house, and they're less expensive. In addition to that, we created policies that said you can build more per lot.
Do you have any fears that so many people I work with, the Habitat, are musicians and are what make Austin Austin, right? And they are not able to afford it anymore.
Yeah, one of the primary reasons that I feel so strongly about making affordability a first priority of City Hall is, in fact, that I want to be able to answer the question, how do I keep Austin Austin? And of course, what that means is, of course, I want the creative talent that have made Austin such a special place. I mean, it's no coincidence that we brag we're the live music capital of the world. At the very same time, we're a focal point in a worldwide creative imagination economy. I mean, it's the same creativity. Creativity begets creativity, and I want folks to be able to be here. I mean, we're sitting here doing this interview, and I've got a picture of Willie Nelson holding his guitar right there and I've got a picture there of Kids in a Club and ACL. So yeah, you can tell where I come from on that. But in addition to that, the people that help take care of our city. The firefighters, the EMS personnel, the professionals that do our EMS, the teachers, our police officers, we want them to be able, a minute ago I used the word a complete city. We want to be a city where everybody can participate and bring their flavor to our city. And then the final thing I'll say about that is, if you ask me, how do you keep Austin Austin, one of the things I'll point you to is what I call the fountain of youth. Austin has a fountain of youth, and that fountain of youth is that little public university we call the University of Texas at Austin, but it's also HT, it's St. Ed's, it's Concordia, it's ACC, it's Texas State. And what's great about that is that every year, new people, young people with new culture, new music, new ideas, new thought, more diversity. They all show up. That fountain of youth shows up. And then within a short period of time, they're looking at each other and saying, I want to stay here. And for decades, they've been able to stay here. If we don't take care of that generation, what will happen is they won't be able to stay here. Austin will quit being Austin with this new, keep it weird, keep Austin weird. Well, part of that is being open to the newness, the new ideas. You know, you listen to some music every now and then, particularly when you get to my age, you might say, well, that's weird. Well, yeah, but it's that fountain of youth that keeps Austin finding something new and being a special place. We have to make affordability first in this community, and I'm doing everything I can because I want to keep Austin, Austin, and you can't do it if the next generation can't afford to stay here.
How do you balance that with not in my backyard? I mean, the people who've been here forever that don't want the smaller sizes or the bigger houses, or how do you sell that to them when they're like, I've already planted here?
Well, what I have found is that most people are very much open to the idea of generational fairness. And they're open to the idea that the reason they love Austin is because they do love the musicians being here. They do love the creative folks being a part of this. They do want a firefighter down the street from them. I think it is a relatively small group of people that feel like, well, I've got mine, now you need to figure out how to get yours. Austin's become a part of the vanguard nationally. I mean, people are looking to us and saying, how did you do this, and what are you doing, and what are your results? In order to do that, we have to make sure it works. And part of my approach to government is it's not enough just to have the good idea and then move to the next good idea. You have to have the good idea, and then you have to make government work. You have to make it play out. And so we're going to do that. In addition, what I talked about earlier in terms of making this town affordable in terms of job training and career training. We just kicked off the Austin Infrastructure Academy with our first big event in March. We will continue to do that, and we'll make sure that we're reaching out to the people that we want to be part of that economic development sector. We just have to keep moving on it and not acting like just because we've passed something that puts us as kind of the national model, that's the end of it. This is about the future of Austin, so we have to be working on it well into the future. Look, what we've done in the past 2 years is pretty extraordinary. It shows that our local government's able to work to get things accomplished. But the rest of the country is looking at that and saying, is it working? We're succeeding, but we cannot stop. Austin is seen as vibrant and happy. And it's fun to be the mayor of a city that is seen as vibrant and happy.
And thanks so much to the mayor for his time right there. A lot of good points, a lot of good talking points. Well, Tesla's robo-taxis could be picking up customers in Austin in just a week and a half. Tesla CEO Elon Musk says a tentative public launch date set for June 22nd. Musk wrote on X, quote, "We are being super paranoid about safety, so the date could shift." The company is currently testing the driverless Model Y taxis here in Austin. Musk reposted a video showing one of the vehicles driving on South Congress without anybody behind the wheel. Musk says the robo-taxis will be geofenced to limit where they operate.
Ooh, I was just getting used to these little Waymos. It's getting interesting out there. Thank you so much. And Rob, great job on your interview with the mayor. Round Rock Public Library is bringing books directly to residents this summer through a new pop-up library service. Library on the Go visits Frontier Park every fourth Saturday and Mesa Village Park monthly from 9 to 11 a.m. You can sign up for library cards, check out books, movies. You can join summer reading activities. We got to get the kids back to the library. The pilot program is meant to reach people who don't have access to the library, especially during the summer. Items are due back when the library returns to each park.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. The Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers have won a game apiece. Catch Game 3 right here on KVUE. Tip-off set for 7:30.
Oh, are we staying up past our bedtime for that?
Are we? I'm not.
Are we?
Watch the highlights tomorrow morning. It's fine, yeah.
We will. Well, thank you guys so much. And of course, thanks for joining us here on KVUE Daybreak Plus. We'll be right back. We've got a cut in here, and we'll see you here.
Bye.
Good Wednesday morning, Central Texas. I hope you are having a wonderful morning. We are halfway through our work week here, and we are looking pretty good out there. We had some rounds of early morning rain, creating for some slick conditions, but right now, pretty quiet to the Austin Metro, and the same goes for traffic. It is looking good right now. I think maybe the rain caused everyone to sleep in a little bit and kind of, it's just so peaceful. We do have a stalled vehicle, though, I-35 northbound, and some minor slowdowns kind of on both sides of the highway there, typical heading towards the downtown area. We're down to one crash, which is better than two that we had in Del Valley. The one outside of Circuit of the Americas cleared. We do still have an incident on FM 973 impacting travel southbound there, not impacting Bastrop Highway though. And then seeing our typical slowdowns another day towards the Burleson Road there at the South Austin Terminal. But as you can see, pretty quiet across the map. But let's go ahead and focus in on the radar. It's going to get a little gusty out there and pretty wet today, isn't it, Casey?
Yeah, we have more rounds of storms possible after that wet weather overnight. All that's left is really just some light showers near Bastrop County along with Fayette County right now, but most of us currently dry. We had this little wave of low pressure that rolled on through the area. As that continues to track north, the rain we saw overnight also moving northward. But as we start to see things dry out temporarily, the atmosphere recharging enough to leading to more periods of rain and storms, especially after about noon today. So we'll have to watch out for that. Those high temperatures climb to 87 degrees. Our flood risk, a level 3 out of 4 across much of the Austin metro area. So that's going to be our main concern moving forward with any of these additional showers and storms that fire up, is that heavy rain potential and the potential to see some localized flooding. Heading into tomorrow, we'll see that rain chance continue on. 50% chance for some scattered storms, with those storms becoming more spotty in nature for Friday and the weekend. Highs because of that will be climbing back into the middle 90s as we get into your Father's Day and early next week.
Welcome back to Daybreak Plus on KVUE Plus, streaming free on your TV. I'm Yvonne Nava. Sorry, Brianna.
I'm Brianna Bendis, or maybe we should just switch.
Yeah, just say you're Yvonne. That's fine. Let's take a live look outside. Another early morning of storms moving through Central Texas.
The rainy week for Central Texas continues. KVUE meteorologist Casey Sherman has more on rain chances for the rest of the week.
And I'm Hannah. Yeah, you know, we're watching what's going to be more rain and storms later this afternoon. We're currently off to a pretty quiet start after we had that swath of heavy rain that pushed through the hill country overnight. Now many of us dry. Certainly the hill country is. Up and down the I-35 corridor, not many issues as far as the morning commute goes weather-wise. We're tracking some showers that are now filtering into areas like Fayette County and just clipping Bastrop County, at least the eastern half of that right now. Heads up to areas like LaGrange, additional showers just to the south of you and heading in your direction. Most of us, though, will be receiving a nice little break from the rain as we head into, I would say, the next about 3 hours before we will start to see the return of some showers and storms by this afternoon. Here's a little area of low pressure that scooted on through overnight as it continues to track northward. The bulk of the heaviest the rain that we had overnight, that's now pushing out across the Dallas metro area, which is why many of us have since dried out across our region. The thing is, that little front that you saw across the area, it still hangs around across central Texas today. So that's going to provide the focus, the kind of lift to get more storms going by this afternoon as things warm up yet again and the atmosphere recharges a little bit more. We are looking at a level 3 out of 4 risk to see flooding across at least the northern half of the KVUE viewing area. So any kind of storm activity that does develop, that flood potential remains high. We have enough moisture in the atmosphere to promote what could be some pretty heavy downpours later on this afternoon. The storm chances start to increase after the noon hour. Keep the umbrella around today. We will continue with these periods of rain and storms, a cloudy sky, and those temperatures remain cooler than average with the high near 87 degrees today. Rain chances increase today and tomorrow along and mainly east of the I-35 corridor. So that's a focus shifting from the hill country to mainly the eastern half of our area. Again, we're still watching that flood potential and the low-end threat to see some severe storms. I'll be breaking all that down and also take a look at what you can expect as we get into your Father's Day weekend. That is coming up.
That's right, it is Father's Day creeping in here. And of course, we got some rainy days ahead. Looking good still on my end. Once again, I think a lot of the folks who maybe have the option to work from home said, you know what? It's raining and I'm going to stay in my pajamas today because it's a lot lighter out there right now. And I like it right now because we're moving along just fine. Even the construction is quieted down for now through that Wells Branch area. Just a little car trouble here and there, which tends to happen, you know, on a rainy day. They're clearing out that vehicle on I-35 coming and going from the downtown area. No major issues there. They're clearing out that crash from earlier as well on FM 973 in Del Valley. So looking a lot better. And if you do have an early morning flight, no issues as far as the roads are concerned, but definitely check in today with these rounds of storms moving across the area. That can always impact things as far as your departures go. Coming in, stop and go through Onion Creek, another day for us there, but no active crashes. So we're looking pretty good on my end.
All right. Well, a Swiss man has shattered a chilling world record.
He spent more than 2 hours buried in snow, but get this, wearing only swim trunks.
I don't know how he did it.
We'll find out. Elias Meyer, a powerlifter, endured 2 hours and 7 seconds of full body contact with snow. He says the cold wasn't the worst part, surprisingly enough, but rather the weight of the snow. Meyer shared on Instagram that he wanted to prove the body is capable of incredible things, and now he's got a world record to show for it. So you know what? I mean, that does sound painful. I don't know how he says it's not. Have you heard of the cold plunge that everyone's doing?
Yes, especially when I lived in Connecticut, we always did, we always covered it. But I was like, oh, great for you. But I would never do it myself. I think that you're dealing with the weight of the snow. But again, he's a power lifter, so that makes sense. But then also just the sheer, like the cold, you know?
I
It's
couldn't
too much.
do it. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it.
But what people do for a world record, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't do that, but maybe something else.
Yeah, maybe something else. I don't know. That's very interesting, but good for him. Well, a new record for video game company Nintendo. Do you game?
I don't. I'm not a big gamer.
I'm a big gamer, but more Atari, so that's really aging me. You're like, Atari what? But listen to this. According to the company, Nintendo, it sold more than 3.5 million Switch 2 units in the first 4 days after its launch. I know we talked about that. They made the console the company's fastest selling gaming device to date. So everybody wanted a piece of this latest one. And last month, the Nintendo projected it would sell 15 million by next March. Nintendo has sold 152 million Switch devices since it was launched first in 2017.
I don't have a Switch. I don't have any of the things. I had a PS4 that looks just like that.
Yes, very much so.
So it's like the same thing, right?
What was your game? Like the game that you...
I used to play The Simpsons.
Oh my gosh, really? I didn't even know that was a game. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say like Donkey Kong or I don't know, but those are probably too old school.
And I just like they had like a big donut, right? Because there's always a big donut.
Absolutely.
In The Simpsons. So I used to go there all the time. It was just a good time.
Well, from, maybe eating sweets to maybe doing the opposite, exercising.
Ooh.
Let's talk about this avid runner. If you're one of them, Austin's really great for running. Everybody's always running on, there at Town Lake and stuff. But what to look out for, I guess.
That's right. A local runner who's participated in more than 100 run clubs created the ATX Run Guide. KVUE's sports director Jeff Jones has this story.
I've been running consistently for probably about 6 years now, working in to get some miles.
Meet an Austin man who promises to be your ATX Run Guide.
Building up the running community where I can get to know other fellow ultra runners.
A fitness fanatic and a marathon maniac.
Recently, I've done a 52-miler race.
Not chasing records, chasing vibes.
For me, I need to have fun at all times. And the way I at least define fun for running is just to do the race, have the community, and just make sure I get to the finish line.
His entire adult life, running and socializing have gone hand in hand, in stride for stride, until he moved to Austin and started a search for cardio and community.
I wanted to personally know how many run clubs were out there, what run clubs were available for me. Benefit of the huge running community in Austin, and I didn't find a one-stop shop that had everything.
So he made one.
So through my laptop, was able to make a lot of the resources here.
The man who had become the ATX Run Guide had to guide himself.
Yeah, so I went as far north as Georgetown and Leander, and as far south as Buda, Kyle, and San Marcos.
You got it all covered.
Over the course of 13 weeks, I did over 90 run clubs.
That number's over 100 now, and with each club comes data points to see,
specific kind of number of people, the average age,
and memories to share. Did you say Eastside Beer Run Club?
Yeah.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah.
I want to be there for you next time for that.
Hey, you get some beer specials on that too.
What runners don't already know, they can find on the ATX Run Guide's interactive database, map, and social media pages.
The official miles logged is 367 miles. There was hundreds of hours at this point that I've put in terms of going to the run clubs, building the tools, and then continuing to maintain the page. 56 hours of running at a 9:10 pace. You can find a lot of facets that work for you.
Let's go.
What kind of vibes and culture that you want from it. There's so many, it goes through the whole gambit.
There you go. I love that. The minute that I came here to Austin, I will say that this was a whole community of runners, and I was like, I need to get into that. So I got my running shoes when I got here.
Yes.
I got my glasses. I was
Yeah.
ready because I was like, I need to be a part of it, but I can't get past the 2 miles. So not
But
doing
do you
anything
stay
crazy.
in the zone for those 2 miles?
And do you run it straight or take little breaks throughout?
I take some breaks. Just, I have to build my endurance, but I'll get there.
They don't have hundreds of run clubs in El Paso then?
They have one, but nothing like that here.
But I love the fact that he kind of did the research for everybody else. And okay, if you want this is where you go. If you want this is where you go. So kind of like that.
Yeah, and also the tech aspect too. We have a really big tech community, and I like that he took that tech and combined it with the running.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's a big thing here. You see a lot of people out on the paths. It's a little bit muddy too today, probably if you are going to head out to do a run, maybe along Lady Bird Lake, going to be running into some puddles. A look outside. Currently, we're just dealing with the clouds. And as we take a look, you can see that pedestrian path over Lady Bird Lake already a little bit busy. A lot of us may be taking advantage of the drier conditions that we're now seeing across the area after we had some very wet conditions overnight. Some showers now pushing out of our area after they rolled through the hill country earlier on, now moving into the Dallas metro area, leaving most of us currently dry. We've got some spotty showers out across areas like Bastrop County, Fayette County, showers pushing in from the south after seeing some heavy rain. Hill country areas saw anywhere between 2, 3, 3.5 inches of our radar estimated totals. Gillespie County, Blanco County, up towards Llano Mason and Burnett County. Notice the footprint here, how it kind of fizzled out as it tried to work its way farther out to the I-35 corridor, farther east. So it's those eastern zones that have not yet really been worked over as far as the atmosphere temperature goes from the rain overnight, those are the areas I think over the next couple of days that'll have the higher chance overall of seeing showers and also storms. Heading into the remainder of today, this is the weather setup. We've got this front now stalled across the area, same front that's been kind of hanging around since yesterday, and that will continue to provide the focus for more showers and storms as we head into this afternoon and on into this evening. So don't get rid of the umbrella just yet. We're off to this kind of cloudy start across the area after the rain and storms that we had overnight. We'll get a little bit of a break in. We'll squeak that in from now through about 11 a.m. and then after about the noon hour, showers and storms fire on up and into about 3-4 o'clock. Hit or miss, not all of us seeing rain and storms, but again, important to just keep that umbrella handy as we will be looking at a few of these across the area, possible even into the evening commute hours. A few of us may need to use those windshield wipers as you're heading home from work. Overnight tonight, additional spotty showers and storms. Tomorrow could be waking up to a couple showers across the area, and then again, more storms set to fire up along that same stalled out front, but the better potential is going to be along and east of the I-35 corridor as we take you into your Thursday afternoon. So those are the areas that likely will see more of the rain here as we head into the next couple of days. As far as our severe weather threat goes, today, tomorrow, generally a level 1 to level 2 for some risk. For some of us, as far as our severe risk goes, we have the potential of maybe seeing some gusty to damaging winds. Thankfully, our hail threat's going to be fairly low with any of these storms that pop up, along with our tornado threat. That'll be even lower. The main concern is still going to remain our flooding risk. We actually have a level 3 out of 4 risk across some of our viewing area today. So any of these storms that do pop up, they could be kind of juicy with those downpours, could be fairly heavy. Future rainfall, this takes us into today and tomorrow. Again, notice where the focus is. The hill country, you got your turn yesterday and overnight. It's those eastern zones, coastal plains that could be looking at anywhere between 2 to 3 inches on top of what we've seen, along with an additional 1 to 2 inches possible for the hill country. Rain chances heading into Thursday. We'll continue to watch for more scattered showers and storms. Now, Friday and the weekend, of course, a lot of us beginning to make those weekend plans. I wouldn't cancel them. It's not going to be a washout, but we will be looking at some spotty showers and storms. The chances will be a little bit lower. I still think each day, though, you'll just want to monitor the sky. We will have some pop-up storms, especially each afternoon. 87 for a high temperature today. Periods of rain and thunderstorms after the noon hour. Quick check at that allergy count. Grass and weeds low today. We're not tracking any mulberry or hickory. None of that has been showing up on our slide here recently, but mold still medium with alternaria still remaining present. 7-day forecast Thursday featuring a high of 88 degrees. We're still keeping those temperatures cooler than average. So that's been kind of a benefit from some of the rain, the storms that we've had each and every day, of course, along with the benefit towards our drought conditions too. Friday, Saturday, as those rain chances start to lower, temperatures bump back to our average of 93 degrees. Father's Day warm but seasonable at 93 with some spotty showers and storms, and then we'll continue to see those temperatures on the rise into next week.
Look at that, storm chances every single day. Thank you so much, KC. Happy Wednesday. We are halfway through this work week here. It is 7:39. Still seeing some slowdowns in the northbound lanes coming in from South Austin. We are moving and grooving in the southbound lanes, though, and my crash count remains low. Of course, we're going to really keep an eye on the forecast the next couple days. Some of these little pockets and low-lying areas that are susceptible to that flooding. A reminder, turn around, don't drown, and make sure you have a way to get those alerts. Right now, we got that stalled vehicle that was just going on and on and on. It cleared out near airport, so I-35 is looking pretty good. Typical slowdowns there, and really, I'm just down to this one crash that's still going on at FM 973 from earlier, and slowdowns out near the airport as well. But overall, really looking good for a Wednesday. I mean, it has not been this quiet in a long time, and I think the rain just really quieted it down, but still seeing those area-wide slowdowns. 33 miles per hour if you are coming in from Round Rock, so definitely seeing some stop and go there. Maynard seeing it for y'all as well, and we are going to slow crawl at 23 miles per hour in Buda.
All right, well, good grades are worth more than praise at one Staten Island bodega.
So the owner is turning report cards into rewards. ABC's Danny New has the story.
These are my documents and my grades.
At Zach's Finest Deli on New York Staten Island.
Hi, I got my Student of the Month certificate.
The manager, Whale, is the guy you want to see if something good happens at school.
When I see these kids happy, I see my own.
Whale is a father of 3 whose children are in his home country of Yemen, and last June...
I told you I'd get honor roll!
No way, you did it?
Yeah!
He went viral for a bet he made with then 12-year-old Zamir. For the record, it was Zamir's idea, and here is what he wagered with a handshake.
If he can make it to the honor roll, he gets to grab whatever he wants.
That's all you want?
No.
What does he want?
It took him a few months, but by June, Zamir made the honor roll and was getting as many bags of Doritos as he wanted. Within a few days, the video started picking up millions of views on TikTok, and you can guess what happened next.
When the video went viral, other kids started coming.
Fast forward a year, and now Wales says kids are coming in every day to exchange their good marks for good eats. Although he says it's not always for snacks.
What are the most popular items?
Eggs, bread, milk, and then I'm like, listen, grab some stuff for yourself too, man. I know you want some candy. Grab it, just grab it.
To help pay for this program, Wales' brother set up a GoFundMe, which has raised more than $70,000. He also sells T-shirts to help fundraise on his website, which is islandoc.com. What does OC mean?
Ak is a slang for the bodega man, the Arabic guy, the brother.
Hi, I got my honor roll.
But why does an OC working 13-hour shifts 6 days a week put in so much effort for this mission?
I never had that help before, you know what I'm saying? It proved to me that everybody, all the kids is very smart. They just need someone to believe in them.
For the record, you do have to bring the report card in store. It cannot be online. And now there is a whole system. If you keep coming back and showing your improvements, Wales wants to reward consistency so you can come back next semester. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
That's the ticket. I mean, that's the little things. You need incentive.
Yes.
You know?
And I like what he said at the end. They need someone to believe in them. Not every child has that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
especially a member of the community like that. You know, he doesn't even have any stake in the matter at the school or anything. He just runs the local bodega.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's amazing. And you think those kids are probably just in their minds, like through the semester, thinking, oh, if I get these good grades,
I'm going to grab those 10 bags of spicy Doritos.
Those
It's
Cool
crazy.
Ranch.
It's unlimited. You can just grab whatever you want. It's like, okay.
That's dangerous.
He grabbed a lot. But I was thinking, okay, if you could go give your report card, what would you be able to grab? If you could grab anything from that store.
I like sour candy, so I'd probably go for the sour straws and then the Cool Ranch Doritos. Or the Cheetos, too.
I'm going hot fries.
Hot fries, there we go.
I just love
I
the
like
spicy chip.
me too. It's very specific. The Nerds clusters, the gummy clusters.
My son loves those.
So good.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, anything spicy, I think I would be all about it. But again, it's bringing those kids just big smiles, and you can see how excited and proud they are. Like they're like, look.
Right.
You know, I mean, any kind of incentive. What's our incentive? Can we get pizza? Like we do anything for pizza. That's like our incentive.
The things we would do. People always joke. They're like, oh, it's just a pizza party. I'm like, I'll take a pizza party.
Right.
It means a lot to us. Yeah.
Well, speaking of food, Chipotle is actually releasing a new sauce for the first time in 5 years. It's called Adobo Ranch.
And the last time they rolled out a new dip was back in 2020 with its Queso Blanca. And that release immediately just boosted sales at Chipotle. And they're likely hoping for the same results this time around. Chipotle's shares are down 12% since the start of the year. Several other fast food chains have recently launched ranch-like sauces to their menus. Taco Bell added a spicy ranch just last month to its menu. Chipotle's Adobo Ranch will be available starting June 16th, but only for a limited time. Chipotle has not said how long that limited time will be. I bet you people are all about this sauce.
Oh, yeah. I feel like anything that's like ranch related is always like a big hit.
We love our ranch.
Love ranch.
Okay, but have y'all had Taco Cabana salsa ranch? Because that goes really hard.
No, I have not.
Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all have to try it. It's so good.
There's this jalapenos kind of ranch kind of sauce at Chewy's that's so good. And sometimes I've just ordered like the actual, just a tub of it for like a party.
Oh my God, I love it. For a party.
That's like when we
Party.
order like the big
For me.
you get a big cup of the sauce from these places because people love the sauces.
Right?
We love
I mean,
it.
yeah.
We're Texas girls. We got to have our sauce.
Yeah, right.
You know, Brianna, for research purposes.
For research purposes, I left
just
it
took
in
home
my
a top
fridge.
one time.
I forgot it to the party. It happened to be home when I got there.
I love that. And here's a very wonderful story here. Graduation season has come and gone, and seniors are moving on. But for some, that diploma came with a little extra help. Sean Giggy out of Dallas introduces us to two sisters who know how much that support really matters.
Are you eating?
No.
Looking back, it's easy to see a recipe for disaster.
Oh, yeah.
But sisters Betty and Marve Bajika say whenever life dealt a bitter blow, something sweet followed.
Can you believe it?
Like it did the day they got the bag.
It meant the whole world. It was a great blessing.
It kind of gives you hope, and it also encourages you to do the same thing for somebody else.
13 years ago, Betty and Marve came to North Texas from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. They moved in with their dad, who'd been living here a while. It was not a good situation.
I reported abuse to the schools.
It was more like child neglection. So we got into foster care in 2019.
When kids enter the foster system, they're often given a garbage bag to take everything they own with them. Likewise, when they turn 18 and graduate, they leave the foster system out on their own with nothing but a garbage bag to their name.
We can do it again, and even better.
It's a problem that bothered Hunter Beaton. Growing up, many of Hunter's siblings were foster kids.
I have luggage whenever I travel, so it was really confusing to see.
So a few years ago, Hunter started a nonprofit called Day One Bags to provide a bag filled with essentials to every kid entering the foster system. And graduating seniors leaving foster care get a bag too.
They gave me like a...
Betty, now a master's student at UNT, received a laptop and all she needed to pursue a future as a nurse.
Yeah, it just has my name on it.
And Marve, a sophomore at UNT, got an even bigger bag.
And it all helped me get by through my first year of college.
Day One would like to give a bag to every foster graduate in the country.
We just know that we need all the support we can get to make sure that actually happens.
Which Betty and Marve say is well worth the investment.
That one little act of kindness, you can multiply it for another person.
Eventually, we'll end up with like a lot of people feeling loved who never felt it before, and that just makes a better world.
All thanks to a bag filled with hope. In Denton, I'm Sean Giggy.
That story really hits home for me. So I've actually interviewed Hunter before with Day One Bags. And as you guys know, for Forever Families, I've interviewed hundreds of these children. And a lot of people, they are shocked when they hear the trash bags. And a lot of times these kids have different circumstances. They have to move out very fast. And so a lot of times their first stop is the Rainbow Room, which is actually out of baby formula right now. I'm going to do a story on that tomorrow. But aside from that, you know, it is a sense of dignity. You just said that.
I think so. I think they need, that's dignified to have all your stuff, all your belongings in a bag where it should belong, not a trash bag. Yeah, so I like that.
Yeah, and it's some things I think that people will take for granted. You know, not everybody does have these things. And it's just like, it kind of brings you back to like, okay, you know.
Yes, what really matters. And these teenagers too, it's tough, right? You think about going off to school and not all of them go to college. And, you know, it really is the little things. So I really appreciate Sean Giggy doing that story. And yeah.
There's a need for sure.
There is.
Yeah, and the Rainbow Room, you're going to talk to us more about that.
Yes, and they're out of baby formula right now. And you think about a lot of the different babies that are connected with Texas foster care. And of course, I have my Forever Family story tomorrow, so I'll talk about that and a little bit more about the Rainbow Room too for anyone that's not familiar.
All right, we want to hear about that. Thanks so much. An elementary school teacher near Dallas recently lost her wedding ring and thought it was gone for good. That is until a canine in training saved the day.
We're so happy for you. We're so happy.
Oh my God, what do I tell Frank?
I'm so glad we were able to find it for you.
Heartbroken.
I bet.
Steve, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Bear.
He's the star right there.
Bear, the canine star, while training nearby, Bear ignored his target and instead zeroed in on something shiny in the grass, that gold ring. A moment of heartbreak turned into pure joy, all thanks to one determined pup. This is such smart dogs.
Did you see his tail wagging? He was like, oh, I got something good.
Yeah. That's like better than his target practice.
Yeah. But he like licked it. He's like, doesn't taste like very good, but yeah, it's like metal, you know?
Sweet. No.
But she was so happy.
Yeah. He said, squirrel, there's a diamond ring in the grass.
Right, yeah, exactly. I would go for that too.
He said, I'm looking for a diamond ring. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We're starting up rumors here.
No, it's fine. It's like, hey, we're on that topic. We're all looking. No, there's a couple of us looking for one. No, okay.
7:50 is your time. They're catches, all three of them. Well, here are three things to know this morning. All right, it has been so busy here in the capital city. Austin Police Department, they are preparing for more protests this weekend with larger demonstrations expected statewide. We're talking Saturday. Governor Greg Abbott says the Texas National Guard will be deployed to help maintain order. APD will be fully staffed Saturday, but the police union warns the added presence could really strain their resources, especially with 300 officer vacancies.
And President Trump plans to restore the original names of military bases across America, including Fort Cavazos in Killeen. It was originally named after Confederate General John Bell Hood. It was renamed in 2023 to Fort Cavazos to honor Korean War hero and Texas native Richard Cavazos. The base will be renamed after Colonel Robert B. Hood, a World War I veteran who earned a Distinguished Service Cross for his bravery in France.
And it is 7:51. Round Rock Public Library is bringing books directly to residents this summer. This is cool. So this is through a new pop-up library service, Library on the Go. It visits Frontier Park every fourth Saturday and Mesa Village Park monthly from 9 to 11 a.m. And you can sign up for library cards, check out books and movies, and join summer reading activities, which is very important, getting all the kids prepped for the new year. The pilot program is meant to reach people who don't have easy access to the library during the summer. Items are due back when the library returns to each park.
And a lot of parents and teachers, they always talk about you don't want that summer slide, which means when kids aren't doing any reading and stuff, and then they're really, they need to catch up when the school year comes back around.
And it could be fun too, right? To get involved in the stories.
I know a lot of the area libraries have like the little prizes too if you complete a summer reading list. So that's always fun. I always loved going to the library like in the summertime. You get the whole bundle of books and
when it's a rainy, when it's a rainy day and stuff, I think that's even better. Like just sit by the windowsill and just read
with a little blanket.
Yeah, I mean the clouds we have this morning, kind of that gloomy start. You want to stay in bed with a good book, a good cup of coffee. We're off to a gloomy start, but we will see more rain and storms later on today. So showers and storms popping up after about the noon hour, and then we've got more of that on the way for Thursday, Friday, Saturday into the weekend. As you prep for Dad's weekend, of course, those outdoor plans shouldn't be too bad. I do think that we'll have some storms around the area each day, Saturday and Sunday. So heads up there with temperatures back into middle 90s by next week.
And while we keep talking about how it's wonderful that we have this rain, we do have to be aware. We live in Central Texas after all, so we have to be aware of potential flooding and then those low water river or low water crossings. We always talk about that. They can just kind of fill up so quickly.
They can, and especially after we've seen already quite a bit of rain this week. You know, soil saturated in the hill country area, and we'll have to watch out for some flooding because that only, more rain, of course, only tends to exaggerate some of those impacts.
Some good advice there.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks again, Daybreak Plus, and we're going to have it again tomorrow. Join us for Daybreak on the air from 4:30 to 7 a.m.
And then Daybreak continues, of course, right here on Daybreak Plus from 7 to 8 a.m. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there and enjoy the Wednesday.